And 1 second, it doesn't turn red. There it goes. Now it's recording. Now I'll turn it back over to you, Cheryl.
All righty. Well, I'm going to call the meeting to order. And I'm sure Gina, and the pen you gave me doesn't write very well. Oh, wait, now it's okay. Or kind of. Anyway, maybe I'll steal one of Karen's. All righty, so we're in order now. And I'll take a motion for approval of the minutes. If everybody's read them, if there are any additions, corrections, anything, I'll entertain a motion. Where is Ray when you need him?
I believe that
I can't make the motion because I wasn't at the last meeting.
Yeah, well, no, you can't, right. So Steve, were you at the last meeting? Beckley?
Yes, I'll move for that.
Okay, goody.
And Cheryl, I will second.
All right, thank you, Elaine.
Thank you.
All righty, all in favor? Yes.
Aye.
Okay. Now we're doing things a little different. So we're going to have our guest, Francine Locke, who is the sustainability, what do you call yourself, a chair?
Chief Sustainability Officer for Delaware County.
Sustainability Officer.
CSO for short.
CSO. All righty. We're going to have her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about how things have gone so far. I would really love to hear this.
Yeah, so this is week 2 starting. Last week I spent time with meeting the different folks who are responsible for facilities and public works. I met with Ed. Well, actually, Ed and I are meeting this week. We did talk to talk about conservation. I've met with the county clerk, Ann Coogan. So last week I just met a lot of people. And I've actually retained quite a bit in terms of who they are and what they do, which is helpful in helping to me move forward with the work we're trying to accomplish. The executive director, Mr. Lazarus, has tasked me with overseeing the capital improvement program and plan and ensuring that sustainability is interwoven into all work moving forward. And Council Member Schaefer has been really very supportive and just very inspirational in terms of seeing her vision and what the county is doing. So I'm very grateful to be here. And my role, once again, is really just to ensure that we are moving in a direction that is sustainable, resilient, regenerative, and just making sure that that is how we're spending our money with capital improvements and just the direction of any programs or policies moving forward. So I'm just very excited to be here. Second week. I don't have a lot to report out at this moment other than meeting people and learning. I'm listening and absorbing.
Excellent. We need more listeners in the world. Excellent.
Thank
you.
It's
very nice to meet you, and whatever we can do to facilitate what you need to do, we shall do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Sure, we're all interested in sustainability also, right, folks? Oh. Okay. Do we have any? Thank you very much.
I do just want to mention that I have to leave at 4 because we have a sustainability commission subcommittee meeting. So I'll have to check out at 4.
So you have broken into subcommittees?
Yes, there are 2 right now. One is sustainability, countywide sustainability plan subcommittee, and the one that's this afternoon is greening county operations.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm sure there's plenty of room for improvement in both areas. So thank you. And it's okay if you leave it 4. No, it'll be fine. Okay. Next up, correspondence and announcements.
Yeah. Hi, Cheryl. I just got one on the audio.
There you are. We can't see you.
Yeah, I had trouble. I wasn't able to get on this time with Microsoft. So
maybe you'll have to be in the office next time, like me.
Oh, that's a safe way to go. You know, well. Yeah,
It's exciting to be with people and not have my mask on. There we go.
yeah,
So
yeah.
thanks, Ray. So you're here.
okay.
We missed you when
Yes.
we were making motions to approve the minutes, et cetera. So
I know.
good thing you're here. Right. Alrighty. Any correspondence or announcements, Ed?
We had no public comments come in since we posted the information on our website with the agenda posted, and no comments came in.
Right. Alrighty. That's okay. Next up, I'm requesting a motion to file all bank statements for the, if you're looking at your agenda, it's a lot of money. So I will entertain a motion to file all bank statements for audit.
Okay. I'll make the motion.
I'll make that.
Okay, Ray and Randy at it again.
There you go.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
all right, thanks a lot. Next up, another motion request. Request payment to Yaden Borough for 50% of the low volume road project previously approved and now under construction. This is very exciting that they're actually moving ahead with this, and we'll see what happens. Maybe they
Yeah.
can make a real change in the environment.
We have in our contract that when they start construction, they can request 50% of the grant funding. And that's what they have done. They've started construction. Karen and Connor both went out there to see. They're actually under work, and they've done part of the project already, and forgot to give us notice. So we did find out that they started. So they went out and took a look at everything. Everything looks pretty good, and hopefully they'll be done pretty soon.
Excellent. So are they doing any kind of large scale improvements in their plan?
Karen, you want to update?
Yeah, sure. This is one of the smaller projects. So they're just for now replacing the storm sewer inlets, and then they'll be putting water quality filters in those inlets. And they may, according to their engineer, they may request, they have a little money left over in their budget after they bid out the project. So they may do some regrading of the pavement to direct stormwater directly to those inlets so that it's not ponding on the roads.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Every little bit helps.
Yep.
Mhm. So that's good. So I didn't hear a motion for this one to accept the payment, request for payment from Yaden Barrow. Would anybody like? Who's moving?
Second it.
Okay, it's
Second.
Randy first and then Ray, right? We're
Yep.
switching up, guys. Excellent. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
And now a motion to approve for deposit the following emergency review fees for Williamson College of the Trades and Ardrossan. That's just with those two, right? Okay, so I wanted to entertain a motion for that.
I'll make the motion.
Sure.
Ray, okay, and Randy again, all righty. All those in favor? Any objections?
Aye.
Aye.
Two, aye.
Just so the board is aware, we didn't officially lift the disbanding of the emergency review or at this point, but some people just send them in. So we figured we'd try to do our best and let them know that. So they are hoping that we'll be able to get to them in a quicker period of time because they have issues that they want to get started right away. So
Right.
And I believe somebody else joined in. So.
Hi, it's Donna. I couldn't get on the computer, wouldn't work, and I called Gina, so I just called in.
Okay,
Sorry about that.
that's okay. I'm here in the office because I haven't been able to get on, so this is good. It's good to even hear your voice, Donna.
I think Linda just joined as well.
Yeah, I think so too.
I did. Hi, I was in another meeting,
Oh,
but I'm
lucky.
here now. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Linda. We can't see you though.
No,
That's all
we're
right.
not doing that much. I do have a camera, but I don't even get it out anymore because nobody at any of our DEP meetings ever does it. But I will. I'm going to start just so I can say hi to all you guys in person.
Yeah. Well, it's exciting for me to be here in Karen's office, seeing everybody. It's really very nice.
Nice to
Okay.
see everybody.
Yeah. All righty. Next up are checks to be signed, and there are a bunch of them. Jason Barrow for the money for the low volume road program. Transfer from the affiliate fund money market to petty cash. Treasurer of Delaware County for CDFAP reimbursement. Conservation District, what's the FAP? Ed?
So you want me to go over every one of these a little bit?
Well, just tell me, yeah, that would be nice.
Okay, well, the Aiden one we just did, the $101,112.42 is we transfer money from our one account into our petty cash account that we control with a debit card. And we have an agreement that we not exceed $2,000 in that account. So that money is to make sure that we're back up to that level.
Okay.
The treasurer of Delaware County, this first one will not require a check because signature, because they didn't do it through the automatic deposit. They actually sent us a check, so we will deposit that directly to the county. The next one is treasurer of Delaware County. We're taking the money we get from our grant reimbursement program and transferring that over into our revenue account via the treasurer's office. So that money will be transferred over. The same with the next one, which is the unconventional gas well, the PUC grant block money. We get money from that every year. Every year we allocate how much we're going to send. This year, because we are trying to get our third technician on board, we said that we would transfer it all over to the county, and that's what we're doing. So the $59,827 is what we get from that fund. So that will be transferred over. The other one, Treasurer of Delaware County, is for our CDFAP, Conservation District Fund Allocation Program, and that is money we the state provides for us for our fund staff positions. So that money will be transferred over from our bank account into the county treasurer, $32,860.
Okay. Well, I'll be glad to sign these after the meeting when I get to see them. I don't need a motion for this, do I? No.
Yes.
I do? Did you say yes, I need a motion or not?
Yes, please. I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to be able to sign these checks.
So moved.
I make the second.
Okay, Randy and Ray. Thank you, guys. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. All right, next up, old business. We're moving right along. Office improvement status, hiring of a third conservation technician. Okay, so first we'll start with the improvements.
Yeah, the one thing we have hanging right now is that we've started to have the split, the air conditioning heating unit put in the back room, meeting room, the small meeting room, which is currently used by Connor as an office. So we maintain some separation when Michelle and Connor have to be in the office at the same time due to COVID. They came and they installed it, and the electrician came in to install the service and didn't have a circuit breaker. So he now has a circuit breaker, and Mr. Orner from Public Building and Maintenance is trying to, he said it's like herding cats to get the contractor to come out here and finish that. So hopefully he got their attention. They said they were going to make it a priority. So hopefully they'll be here soon.
Okay, good.
Now, as for hiring the third technician, I did talk to Mr. Kane about some issues, and he is our human resources director, and he was going to look into see why that hasn't been advertised. He has not gotten back to me on that yet. We're working on a couple other issues, and hopefully we'll get that resolved. I did have a public works meeting with Howard Lazarus, their executive director, and I brought this point up, and he said that he would push for it on my behalf. So,
Oh, good. At least we have someone else in our corner, right?
yes.
All righty. It's funny, this has really been going on a very long time.
Well, it started right in April when we got approval from County Council,
All right.
and then COVID hit. And so we had to modify our office. We had very good help with Public Works to get the partitions from surplus and have somebody install them. We did get our lock and door entry installed through Defender. So we've moved ahead pretty quick on those. Hopefully now we're ready. We're having trouble with our telephone system now. We're trying to use a new voice over internet system, and it's working in a lot of the buildings that they're using it for now because they have their own optic. And it's Ring Central is ringing right now. Sorry, but it doesn't work for us right now. There's some problem that they're trying to work out because it's a phone without audio, so it really doesn't work. So between telecommunications and data process, yeah, they're trying to work that problem out. So we can't, with the existing ISDN line we have, they have a bad cable out here. So Mark Manfrey in the Parks Department and myself have both been having poor phone service for about the last couple of years. And so this is the way the county is going. So hopefully we can get the bugs worked out and we'll be able to all convert over to this voice over internet.
I will continue to press for the technician. I've sent several emails and gotten assurances that that was moving forward, but I can tell you that we have so many people to hire and we have hired so many people lately. It's just, it's a hiring factory at this point.
Right.
Yes, that's what I understand.
Right. We appreciate your help. I know it doesn't seem like it's coming through the way you'd want it to be, but we appreciate you out there pushing nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. So eventually we'll get the third technician. Things will be moving along. There'll be a place for Michelle and Connor to sit. Yay. All righty. Next up is the memorandum of understanding between district and county council. There's been no action, you say?
No new action, but I did send that document via email to Francine so she could get a look at it. To try to establish where we need to go from here on how we can work better together in the future with the county. So hopefully when I talk to Francine on Friday, we can go over some of that.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
I'm sure she'll streamline her operation.
Well, it really doesn't streamline it. It just documents exactly how we're supposed to work together so there's no misunderstandings. That's good communication on how we both work together.
Excellent. But maybe some streamlining could happen.
Yes.
Okay. Next up is Christmas tree revetment stream bag project in Glen Providence Park. How's that going?
Well, we got clearance because there was not a bog turtle, but I think it's a red belly turtle. They don't tell you anymore what the hit is, but we did get clearance to be able to do the work. I'll work on the permit hopefully this week. This weather has sort of put a little bit of kibosh to that, but I'm hoping to get the permit developed and processed this week. So we have to get it done before the end of March because that is when the turtles start migrating. So we can only work between October 15th and March 31st.
Uh-huh. We better get out there, huh?
Yeah, and this project is something that the Friends of Glen Providence Park have been concerned about because they are trying to keep water going into their pond. The pond is an off-stream pond, but it was made an off-stream pond in 1980. And it's been subject to a lot of erosion. And then when they breached the dam at 3rd Street from the Broomall Lake, it has been going through a lot of changes. First, it came through and sediment was blocking the pipe intake structure. That's gone now, and now we have an erosion problem. And it's eroding to the point where they're concerned that the riparian buffer plantings that they put in are starting to be endangered. And it also could erode to the point where it would go right into the pond again, which is not the desirable thing. That's why we're going to try this revetment, because it doesn't cost that much money. And we have the Christmas trees stored from the Festival of Lights. So Norm and the Friends group and Karen will coordinate putting that structure in to give it a try.
Excellent. Well, that's all we can do. But I like the idea of the Christmas tree revetment, so there we go. Hoping it works. Okay, next up are the low volume road projects, the status update. We kind of got a little bit of this with the Aiden money transfer here, but I'd like to hear more about it. Karen, are you going to deal with this or Ed?
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Okay, good.
So like we mentioned, Yaden, they got started on their project, which is very exciting. It's our first low volume road project that's,
Yay!
I know, it started construction. Still working with Edgemont Township. Like I said before, they've had some staff turnover. They currently have a new township manager who I've offered to meet with and explain the program and their contract and their project and all the things associated with that. So I'm just waiting for him to get settled and set up a meeting with him and I believe it's their public works employee. Milburn Borough is one of our fall 2020 grantees, and we just executed their contract, so they are ready to begin any project work whenever they're ready. And then I also met with Newtown Township and their engineer to review their contract. So we're just waiting for those signed documents to come in and execute their contract, and then they will be ready to go. So we currently have one project under construction, 2 executed contracts awaiting project start, and 1 just awaiting to execute the contract.
Okay. So we're moving right along. And when is the next round for low volume road projects?
So the next round would have been spring 2021. We would have accepted applications, I believe, April 1st. But we've actually committed all of our funds to those 4 projects. So we will have to, I'll still reach out to municipalities and let them know the status of the program. But we'll receive our next allocation of funds July of 2021. So from there, we'll be able to open the program up again and advertise for applications, which will be accepted again in fall of 2021. So that's the end of October.
So we have time to get out there and beat the bushes for people who want to do this, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I've been doing a lot of outreach for it to try to get people to go to the remote trainings. They're still having the remote ESM trainings right now. I think I want to say through October, or maybe it's May. I'm getting all my dates mixed up. But they're having 1 ESM training per month remotely. So it's a really good opportunity for Delaware County municipalities to attend. They're shorter than the in-person trainings, and they don't require travel or overnight stays. So
Karen, do they only have to go to one training to qualify for the program?
Correct. Yep. And it has to be a staff member of the municipality in order to be eligible to apply. But since a lot of our municipalities work with their engineers and have their engineers carry out most of the technical work, we are strongly encouraging the engineers to go as well, so that they're on the same page and follow the program policies.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have to pay for that training?
No, it's free. But if they were to go in person, they would most likely have to pay for lodging and travel.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, now is a good time to go.
Right, it's a bargain now.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to do this once every 5 years, correct?
Correct. Yep.
So it's like continuing education in some way, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They do. Yep. They get, I'm not sure exactly what the points are called, but engineers would get continuing education points for those.
Well, we should encourage them to continue to offer them remotely even after they don't have to.
Yes.
Yeah. I think they're seeing the benefits of it. You know, they are getting a lot more people attending, but with everything, they're missing out on the in-person, face-to-face interaction. So I think they're just weighing their options. I do hope they offer both options in the future.
It's certainly environmentally more friendly to have them done remotely, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is environmentally sensitive maintenance training, so that makes sense.
Yep.
I'm gonna run, guys. Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
This
Thank
is
you so
Linda.
much.
I just had,
So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you also. Bye.
I just had a question. Do you mind me asking, Cheryl?
Not the least.
Um, so the trainings and the funding, well, the funding, that doesn't pay, and you guys have talked about this before, that doesn't pay. It's not going to change the county. But you know, it does pay for some good projects. But a lot of the benefit of the ESM training is like for the light bulb moment in terms of how certain municipalities are taking care of their roads. Have you seen that? Have you seen that it might actually change some of their day-to-day practices, whether they get funding or not?
I haven't seen it yet, but with every municipality that I interact with, I kind of try to drive that point home that, you know, not only is it good for this program, but it also, you know, trains you on so many other important environmentally sensitive maintenance topics, such as, I mean, they talk about proper tree care, you know, along roadways and tree maintenance, stormwater control. They cover a lot of really good stuff. So I haven't seen anything yet, but the program, I guess, has only been active now for about a year. So hopefully in the future
Right.
we will.
Well, good for you for carrying the message farther.
Yeah, I try to put as many positive spins on attending the training as I can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this is very good. And I'm so excited that we actually have one happening. Just really.
Me too.
Yeah, right. I know. It's been a long time coming. Alrighty, I guess that's it for old business. So now we'll move on to new business. The PACD mini grant funded by Growing Greener and DEP applications for Smedley Park.
Yeah, so PACD's Growing Greener mini grant program, it's the non-point source pollution prevention mini grant for adult education projects. So we applied for a project this year to do some rain garden plantings at Smedley Park in a water quality basin. At the end of Paper Mill Road, there's a parking lot that loops around, and in the middle is a collection basin. And right now, what would we call it? The drain pipe is clogged and is kind of elusive. We haven't been able to find it. So that's step one of the project, is to find that and clear it. And we were talking about possibly using low volume road demonstration funds to do a project not only to maintain the pipe, but to improve access to a backflow valve in the pipe for easier maintenance in the future and to prevent any clogging or burying of the pipe in the future. So that's step one. And then once we figure out the issue with the pipe, our goal is to do rain garden plantings, like I mentioned, mostly shrubs and herbaceous material, and we'll be working with the master watershed stewards and the master gardeners, as well as Parks and Recreation and the Friends of Smedley Park. So it'll be hopefully a big event, you know, if the project is funded through that grant program. We're hoping to have it during Earth Day next year.
Excellent. Too bad Francine's not here. This is the cooperation, right?
This project too, the only thing that's holding us up on the low volume road, we're eligible. We haven't done this in the past. We're eligible for such a percentage of our money. It's $8,000, so it must be like 10% for educational projects. So we wouldn't be necessarily competing for grant money, and we're using it for an educational demonstration project. The only thing is we have to come up with a road benefit and a water quality benefit. So we have the environmental benefit. It's just the road quality benefit, other than the flooding of the parking lot, because the basin doesn't drain properly, is probably the thing that we might be working on it. Karen did have the person from Low Volume Roads come take a look at it.
Not yet.
Okay, we're gonna have them come down and take a look at it.
That's also on my to-do list.
It's something we need to do because it's part of our MS4 permit. This was done when they built the soccer field, so it's a thing that we have to maintain. That's one of the problems we have with some of the new structures, that the Public Works gets a permit, they get the implementation, they get it built, then it turns over to Parks. And sometimes what needs to be done to keep your operation and maintenance is not conveyed to the Parks on what they have to do. So this is one of those ones that they think it was run over by one of those trucks that had the big wheels, and they just ran through it and smashed the outlet. But we don't know for sure. We can't. They've tried several times and they cannot locate it.
I guess it's made out of plastic, right?
Yeah, it's a 4-inch seat.
If it were metal, you could find it.
Yeah, they they found the outlet end, so they know where that part is. They've even tried to use a blower to blow up air bubbles, so they couldn't do that because there's a backflow preventer, because they didn't want the basin to fill up with the flood water.
Right.
So it won't work. That won't work. So we'll figure it out. We might have to get a backhoe in there and start digging around to find it.
Hopefully it won't crush it further. Okay. Well, thank you for that report also. Next up, Delaware County's MS4 annual report for 2020 required by DEP. Tell us about this one.
This is the one that Howard referred to as Alice-esque. I didn't know what that meant either, so I had to look it up. It just meant the DEP is going down the rabbit hole. And what the problem is we applied in 2018 to have our MS4 permit renewed. They have not done that yet. They have it on hold. They have not told us that they were going to renew the permit. We asked for either renewal or a waiver of permit. They denied our waiver, but they have not issued the permit. So we're waiting for that. And in the meantime, they send us bills that we have a permit. Every year we have to pay $500 to maintain our MS4 permit, which is expired. But what they want us to do is to follow the old permit until they give us a new permit. Well, that permit is about 3 years into it already. So, so we're going to be trying to follow that permit. But in April, without telling us, they came up with a deadline for when annual reports had to be filed. And they made that up, and we didn't know about it. So they wanted it in September, was it, Karen? September, they wanted an annual report. I said, well, we weren't aware of that, and asked them to give it till March 15th before we can submit it to them. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do our annual report, and then we'll be doing an annual report to them in September of next year, too. I'm sure this is something I will bring up with Francine about how we're going to implement this permit in the future.
Right. Good idea. There's always some confusion. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Next up, thanks for that report, by the way, folks. Next up, increasing our presence on social media with a Facebook page. Sounds like an idea.
We were a little leery of this. We want to be careful how we're doing it, because I know the county has a policy on it, and we haven't got any clarifications on what we can do and what we can't post. So we want to work that out ahead of time.
I'll see you later.
We want to know, counties having some problems I've seen with some of the very bad comments that come in, and monitoring that. So I know that it's been a topic on some of the county council meetings that these come in. So we're seeing if we want to find out if we're doing it right, how we can promote it, and who our target audience is for our Facebook groups, and just to make sure that I think we're going to stick with not trying to do it for the regulated public. We're just going to try to do it for watershed groups and that part of the sector. So our target audience at first. But if any directors have any comments, I'd appreciate hearing it, because we do have a YouTube channel, and that hasn't been a problem for us. We do have Facebook with our Southeastern RC&D page, and I post things from the county on that and haven't had any problems. So it's just the idea of having our own with the Conservation District going forward. Elaine, you don't know of any county hasn't had any policy that doesn't want departments to do that directly, or?
No, and it's interesting. The Parks and Rec Board has posed the same question, which I have not gone to get our legal opinion on yet. But there is no policy that I know of that would preclude our boards from having their own Facebook. And I'd say that I wouldn't shy away from having it just because of the comment issue. I don't think there's going to be anything political about the Conservation District, and those are all just politically driven.
Right.
So I wouldn't worry about it. And if it ever became a problem, you could just disable the comments. You don't have to have comments. For the county council meetings, we feel that if we're going to have it, we would have to have comments because we're county council. But for the boards, you wouldn't necessarily have to have comments. You could just post, content, and if comments became a problem, but I really can't imagine that it would.
I got you. Okay.
That sounds good. Sounds like it might be easier than we thought.
Yeah, and one other thing.
Yep, the answer to that for the Parks Board as well. So I will make sure I get it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just don't want to have a Facebook page without any friends. So we're going to depend on the directors and stuff to get us some friends to sign up for our page. So we have.
We'll all sign on. That'll give us some. Right.
There you go. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Alrighty, thanks for that update. Also, we could be on Facebook. Woohoo! Next up is a report from cooperating agencies. Is Beth here?
No, Beth could not attend today.
Okay. Alrighty, but I know Linda is.
Hi.
Hi.
I don't have anything to add to my report. E-permitting is on my report, and the drone policy. Those things I'll highlight on my report. But if you have any questions about either of them, don't ask me about e-permitting. But I can help you with the drone policy. No, the e-permitting is live, and I do know the framework. But Ed and his staff would be the ones to get into the intricacies of permitting, because they're the ones that are suffering through it or will be. But in the end, I don't mean to be downplaying it. In the end, e-permitting hopefully will really help the districts with time management and with the quality of permit applications that they receive. So, but that's all unfolding now.
And we don't have any immediate plans to do anything with drones. We did have a meeting today with the Nika Cruz, who is the head of water management, the deputy director of DEP. And the drone policy got into public property rights, got into regulations. So that's why DEP and the State Conservation Commission started to come up with a policy to sort of control the use of drones. And basically, it's almost like they don't want you to use them right now until they work everything out. The DEP is thinking if they're going to do it, they're going to do through third party, such as the state police have a drone things, and they would call the drones in with them or another agency. But there's a lot of applications that people were using for farmland and for even in compliance with 102 on pipelines that they've shied away from right now. So it's too dangerous down here for us because we're in the flightways almost everywhere in Delaware County. So it's not something that I had planned to do in Delaware County.
Yeah, with the state delegated programs, it was important to come up with the policy because there are issues that districts could get themselves into trouble with if they were using them inappropriately. So it was really important to draw the line between if you're using it for technical assistance for the landowner or for certain highlighting a restoration project, that's a whole different than a compliance use where then there are going to be people that are looking for improper uses to hold against districts, and that was, or maybe there would even be improper uses unknowingly, probably. So yeah, that was an important policy.
I had never even thought about drones, although it might be good for some of these vast developments. It would be a good idea to have a drone go over it.
Yeah, in the past, I brought up to Anika that we had hired a service, an aerial photography service. They actually did flights for us and did photographs for us on a couple enforcement cases. We also, in the past, a long time ago, 91 now, with the when the Blue Route was in, I went up in the state police helicopter and did inspections on them on 2 occasions. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, they stopped that the day after there was a pilot killed up on the Susquehanna River in the state police helicopter crash the day after I was up looking at the Blue Room. So they haven't done that for a while now.
Right. So the drones wouldn't be occupied anyway, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, so that's another aspect of things here. Thanks, Linda. Okay, next up is the Conservation District Manager's Report. Tell us all about it, Ed.
Okay, you do have a copy of my report, and the training, we're trying to do a virtual training session for homeowners association. Lots of times all our developments have these post-construction operation and maintenance plans that they have to follow, and it's turned over to the homeowners association, and they have no knowledge of what they're supposed to do. So that's what the purpose of this training would be, is to expose them to post-construction stormwater maintenance and operation, our NOT procedure and what that actually means, and having a couple consultants come in from, like Ray had suggested, and Wayne, about having property management company come actually be the ones we invite. We were targeting them as well, and they actually have one of the property managers coming in to speak to us as one of the speakers at this event. It's going to be in March sometime.
March, all right.
That was the first thing. Also, a lot of our stuff is done on Greenport. Besides just the e-permitting, we do a lot of our reporting on Greenport. All our reports are currently up to date now, which is not usually the case. I did make an effort to get that all done so we'd be cleaned up for e-permitting. So that's done. I updated the team sheets, which is the listing of all the directors and contacts and the dates of their terms on Greenport. And the 102, 105 quarterly reports for the work that we've done has also been filed in Greenport. The problem is the erosion control plans. We had, I reviewed 26 of them. I've been working 3 of the Saturdays this month to try to catch up, and it's just not working. And some of we have 34 more plans coming in that are due, plus another 15 that will come onto my desk once the administrative reviews are done by the technicians. So it's a big workload that's coming in right now for some reason, and there's no law. I thought there would be a law with the slowing down of some of the township meetings, but there has not been. Things are progressing.
What do you think all of this busyness is coming from? People have time to sit around and think up ideas? Places to develop?
I think a lot of it initially was the fact that the engineers had time to clean off their desk.
Right.
But still projects are going through. So I guess the economy is still holding on for that sector enough that it seems to be with low interest rates for mortgages and things, that things are still a driving influence. So, and that's what they want to get started and get things in the ground so they have product on the market.
Right. Okay, well, anything else, Ed?
That should be enough. Everything else is in the report if anybody should have any questions.
Alrighty, good.
Can I ask a question about 105? We've heard some input from residents about the 105 proposed changes for dams and waterways. Is that something that this board weighs in on? What is the role of this board on that?
The chapter 105, I did get a message from Howard on that and responded back. We did not take a position on the changes. We did review, I did review it from the Pennsylvania Environmental Council's position on it. And I did review from legal summaries on it and plus the executive summary. Chapter 105 is something that had to be revised since 1991. So it was out of date with what we were currently doing. So there was a lot of things that needed to be updated. The problem when you open up regulations is you might have put something that was beneficial at the beginning, but when it gets spit out the other side, you don't know what you got. So I don't know. I asked whether or not there was anything in particular that needed to be addressed. Yeah. Tomorrow is the deadline for the public comment period. So.
Oh, it is. Okay. So the pushback that I have received is apparently there's some, at this point you can get a permit. If you have a big project, you can get one permit for multiple districts. You don't have to get permits anymore if your project goes through a lot of districts. Now you can just get one permit from the state. That's how it was explained to me. And that a lot of people who especially are against pipeline development, that crew is very upset because now there's one permit at the state and they don't have a venue at each district to take their case to, an object.
Right.
If I'm
true.
If I'm thinking about to what you're referring, Elaine, it's probably the relatively new within the last few years, the regional coordinator. I can't remember what it stands for. It's an acronym, but it does deal with DEP. It's a DEP section that specifically deals with these cross-county projects. So one county district would be, in essence, how it's set up, one county district would be assigned the lead to review such a project, and then of course DEP would then review it as well. So we're talking both ENS and 105 permits. So one county would be the lead, the county that it most covers, or I'm not sure how exactly they decide that, but that's probably what you're talking about, Elaine.
They come up with a new agency that's referred to as RIPCO. I don't know what that acronym stands. Yeah, RIPCO is a Dominic Rock.
Regional Permit Coordination Office. Thank you.
RIPCO. And that is for, it's not for all pipelines. It's only for pipelines that have FERC federal requirements. So it wouldn't be for all pipelines, but anything cross country is going to be FERC regulated. And they have been handling that. So now I guess they're trying to formalize that they're the ones in charge. But for the last few projects that have been going in, the RIPCO is the one that's been handling those. They also would handle anything dealing with floodplain remediation. So if somebody tried to come in with a project to remediate the floodplain, they would handle those projects because I guess there was some controversy on that as well. So, what Linda had said, multi-county projects. Otherwise, we've probably done that pretty much anyhow. If there was a pipeline prior, if it more than 2 counties, then the regional office would control that permit. If there's only 2 counties or 3 counties sometimes in the same region, then the one that had the most earth disturbance would process the permit. But every county would get technical review of the ENS plan. But yeah, the RIPCO is probably what they're incorporating into the new regulations.
Right. And in terms of public comment, so districts as an entity, they are not considered public. So when something that is specifically delegated to the district, whether it's a 105, chapter 105 or chapter 102, both of which can be delegated and usually are for 102, but 105, if the district is delegated, they have an internal, so they will go right to the Southeast Regional Office with comments, and they're processed as an internal comment. Whereas then it's a separate process for actually the public. Does that make sense?
Yep. Sense. Well, I'm passing along the public comment that I receive in my inbox about certain objections to, I guess, codifying the practice of regionalizing the 105 regulation of these pipelines.
Do you have the information of where to send that, Elaine?
I don't think I was being asked to submit it. I think I was just, but I do actually know where to send it.
Oh, okay.
But
okay.
I've had a couple of emails and they were more advocating for the county to do something than asking us to help them put in their public comment.
I understand. Okay.
I get a lot of emails like that on every issue.
Okay. Well, next up, it looks like we have Michelle.
All right. Yeah, we spent about probably close to 3 days just doing e-permitting training. We also participated in the course that they gave to the public, so the consultants, to show them how to sign up. So that was helpful. So hopefully we can be of some assistance to the consultants when they go to register, or at least hear what they were being told. But yeah, we haven't, I guess, received any applications yet since the go live date last week. So maybe next month we'll have a little bit more of a update on how this is going, but we'll see. Yeah, other than that, nothing really to highlight unless anyone has questions.
Okay, hearing no one, we will move on to Connor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, same thing. Just like Michelle said, participate in these e-permitting webinars. They're pretty insightful and helpful. It's just like there's a lot to learn. So I was talking to Michelle yesterday about this. I'm like kind of like stressed about it, but I'm also like eager to just get it started. So
Right.
I'm more of like a person who just learns like as they go through it. So I mean, the trainings are definitely helpful. There's a lot of questions, but it's just a lot of information. So I kind of just want to get in there and get started with it.
Yeah, make it less abstract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so still nothing yet for that. Other than that, got it out as much as I could, and had the one complaint, which is kind of, I guess, still ongoing. But other than that, it was pretty much just nothing out of the ordinary. So yeah, if anyone has any comments about that, let me know.
What was the complaint at Idle Hours Tennis Club, which sounds like a hoot?
So we received a complaint that I guess a resident was experiencing more flooding than usual, and they had said that they had heard, well, they usually experience flooding a lot, and they had heard construction coming from the tennis club back in August 2020, and they said after they heard that, they said they heard they didn't see any construction. After they had heard that they were experiencing more flooding than usual, so they thought, they put two and two together, maybe something happened there that changed the flow or the flood path pretty much with whatever happened there. So I went out to the tennis club to see if anything was built. There was a gabion that was built on the club. The person I met with, he was like a board member of their club. I didn't meet with like anyone that, I guess I don't think there's like an actual one owner. I think it's just kind of like divvied out by board members. And he had said, yeah, this wall was built, gabion was built about 6 months ago, which would kind of make it add up to what the complaint was saying. So a portion of it, I think, after like referencing like the FEMA flood maps, like a portion of it, like a small portion of it, is within the flood way, which is regulated by DEP, and then the rest of it's within the floodplain. And like I said, it's still ongoing, so we don't really know where the property of the tennis club ends and where the property of the township begins, because they kind of butt up to one another. But as far as the floodplain or floodway that it's built in, I sent out a report. I started a 105 report and sent out to DEP, and I believe they're going to send someone out to look into it to do another further investigation. And I have a referral that I've typed up that I have to send out to them as well. So that was probably like the middle of January when this all happened, when I went out initially. Yeah, just waiting to find out what happens next.
Right.
If anybody was interested in that RIPCO, I did in the chat put a link to DEP's website that explains what RIPCO is.
Okay, good. More education. Excellent. Thank you, Connor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm presuming you're finished with your story here. Yep.
Yeah, no, that was about it.
All right. Next up is Karen.
Yeah, I talked about the low volume roads and our mini grant application. So the only other thing that I wanted to highlight now is the Master Watershed Steward Program, which I mentioned last month. They're still accepting applications. There are 24 applicants from both Delaware and Chester counties, and 14 of them are from Delaware County. So that's exciting. We have, I believe this is the most applicants that we've had for the program since it started. And I think part of the reason for that is the remote opportunity. So it's exciting. That'll get started, I think in March is when the training will start. And we do have some field trips planned that will be socially distanced and masked. And yeah.
Excellent.
So that's going through. And that's about all I wanted to highlight. Everything else is in my report if anyone has any questions.
Okay, thanks. I'm excited that so many people are interested in this watershed training. That'll be wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. It's kind of exponential growth. I think a lot of the current participants spread the word. So, the more people that are participating in the program, the more people learn about it. So It's good.
Excellent. The more aware people are, the better off we're going to be, right? So thank you very much. Alrighty, and it looks like we have come to the end of our agenda. The erosion and sediment control plans are here. I don't see anything striking to me. But I don't know all of these places. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Alrighty. Thank you both very much. We shall be meeting on March 2nd, 2021. And if need be, I'll be back here at the office if I can't get this done. But I want to say that our internet has been so crazy that Verizon actually came out to the house. Can you believe it? I mean, that's amazing. They never want to do anything. So maybe we'll be better off. We'll see. But it was really nice seeing all of you. And thank you for all your hard work. And we'll see you in March.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
I haven't seen you.
Thank you.
Bye.